Hey, this is Marcus Washington with Mornings with Mook. I'm going to start off with the NFL's lawsuit. I don't think this has gotten enough attention. I've seen it in several places. Not too many people have spoken about it, and it's been out in the ether for quite a few days now, which is the lawsuit against the NFL Sunday Ticket, where the plaintiffs are accusing the NFL of price fixing by getting with their network partners and basically violating what we would think is antitrust laws. Something that the NFL and professional sports as a whole have been allowed to circumvent in so many different ways. And now there's some pushback. This lawsuit is finally seeing the light of day in court. It's been floating around for a while. And I will say this for the NFL Sunday Ticket, and I've had the NFL Sunday Ticket since the inception. I had somewhat of an NFL Sunday Ticket before there was ever an NFL Sunday Ticket because my parents had a real satellite dish, the real big monsters that used to sit in the backyards that moved. And what we could do is move to a CBS affiliate in Los Angeles and see the game that's being shown on there, so on and so forth. And, whatever my parents were playing as a fee to have access to those particular channels was the only thing we paid. So we didn't pay an additional cost. And so with the NFL Sunday Ticket and the playoffs, it's very simple. I think people want more of an option. They want an option to only be able to buy one team. Maybe I'm a Raiders fan and I just wanted the option of buying the Raiders each week and so on and so forth. And they want price competition, which is what capitalism is, which no one has in how the NFL Sunday Ticket is being distributed. Of course, the NFL's pushback is this was supposed to be a premium item, that this was never supposed to totally replace how people are watching football. It was an add-on, blah, 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 blah. But, the NFL needs to lose a court case. So, especially when it comes to antitrust, they need to lose one. So it wouldn't bother me if they lost this one. What has happened to the art of trash talking? Again, I hate to be get off my lawn guy. I hate to be back in the day guy, but I'm going to be that guy for a few minutes. I don't understand this idea of the sensitivity behind trash talking anymore. I come from the 70s to 80s, and the trash talk come with this. If you're going to talk trash, you better be very good. If you're going to talk trash and it was in football or basketball, when someone lays a good one on you, you better not cry and complain, because that comes with talking trash. And, I come from an era where if you weren't willing to accept those things, you just didn't talk trash. Now, in today's era, it's so different. If you talk trash, oh my gosh, I should be able to say anything to you and you not do anything back. Oh, how dare. Caitlin Clark is one of the biggest trash talkers out there. And people lay their licks on her. They should. And then people, oh, that's unfair. What are you doing? They hate her. Look at the haters. They're just jealous. No. That comes with talking trash. And think about it this way. Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the biggest trash talker in the NBA in this time. NBA players have said it. When you do these polls with people who played against Larry, no bigger trash talker than Larry. You know how many shots Larry took? Larry took plenty. Whether it was from Bill Laimbeer, the time Dr. J tried to choke him out, whether it was Dennis Rodman, Larry took all kinds of bumps. Larry not one time complained. He didn't cry. He didn't whine. When someone hit him, he hit him back. Remember the whole thing with Laimbeer in the playoff game where they get tangled up on the floor? Larry's trying to throw some punches. Then Rodman comes over. Then it's a shove with Rodman. And then Larry picks up the ball and rifles it at Bill Laimbeer. I'll go back even further. I remember in the late 70s when I was a kid, Maurice Lucas, Daryl Dawkins, those guys, Marvin Webster, they put them dukes up. And if you didn't want any of that smoke, then you just did not, you didn't talk trash. All these kids today want to talk trash and have no repercussions. Nah, brother, that's not how it works. Don't be a softie and think you can run your mouth. Gambling. Talked about gambling a few weeks ago, and this is what scared me about gambling with the Jonte Porter thing, and even with the handler for Otani. We're just no longer talking about it. Gambling is a news cycle item. And that's very, very dangerous. Now, I will say this. I do think a lot of these things that are happening with gambling 5 years from now won't be happening. I think there's people who are ignorant to the system and the checks and balances of gambling. So they think they're actually smarter than the system. So they're thinking, oh, I can never get caught. Those guys aren't expecting me to do. And yes, they are. I think this is some of the non-Vegas stuff. People out in Vegas, because Vegas has had gambling for so long, understand that a lot of times it's not if, it's when. And now that gambling's been, spread throughout the country, there are people who are just not as smart as they think they are, and that makes them dumb. And then they do dumb things thinking that you can never get caught, and you're getting caught. It's not your local bookie you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who are now getting involved, checks and balances in the federal government and everything else. And my thing is yes, in 5 years, I do think a lot of this is going to be gone, because I think what's going to end up happening is what's happening in other countries, which is you're just going to have a society used to having gambling as an option. But getting to that point is going to be painful. And so a piece of it, part of the process. But a piece of it kind of worries me, because I wish it just wouldn't die that silent death that we see in the news cycle today. Because I think we need to be reminded of the dangers of gambling. Thank you for joining Mook in the mornings with Mook. Really, really appreciate it.